You ever wonder what happens when you log on to YouTube, you go to one of your favorite channels, and there's just no uploads anymore? You wonder what happened to them.
Maybe something pretty disturbing.
Well, all the YouTubers on this list definitely disturbing backstories as to why they suddenly stopped uploading.
You're gonna want to hear this. Starting off our list today, we have Tyler Sessler, known on YouTube as simply Mr. Anime, whose channel was abandoned after the young man killed his entire family in their home on March 20th of 2012. Selzer made his first YouTube channel, Lens Cap Productions, in 2006, uploading short films of himself, which sometimes included his family. A few years later, he created the channel Mr. Anime, which was dedicated to reviewing anime movies and television series. He was massing millions of views for this review content. Eventually, between reviews, the YouTuber began posting skits involving weapons and centered around the idea of violence and death. In 2011, Tyler moved out of his parents' house after he and his father's relationship began to deteriorate. All alone, he became obsessed with serial killers and even began fantasizing about killing his peers and his family. Rumors started to spread that the young man had been using live animals as target practice, as his content moved from reviewing anime to reviewing firearms. On March 19th of 2012, Selzer went to his family home, killed his family, and fell asleep next to the bodies. He then left the scene, but not before packing his car with over 100 rounds of ammunition and leaving a note that read, "I will never forgive myself. I don't know why I did this. God help me." When Selzer was later arrested, he told officers that he had killed his family so that they didn't have to endure the pain that would come from what he had planned on doing next, which luckily he was apprehended before that could take place.
Natural Selector 89. This guy was the definition of a cringy edgelord. I know it's kind of cringy to use language like that, but it's just the most accurate description that I can think of. He'd make videos going on rants about people, you know, how they're sheep, we live in a society, everyone is misguided and delusional but me, that sort of thing. Just real insufferable stuff. His real name was Pekka Alvinen, and he was born in 1989 in Finland. His politics were a bit confusing. He believed in some very right-wing ideologies, but also very left-wing ones. He was a big believer in social Darwinism and hated religion, but would refer to himself as being this godlike type being. His first channel was shut down, so he started up a new one called Sturmgeist89, where he'd make videos criticizing world religions, and he'd also show off his firearms after getting his license. Then on November 7th, 2007, the Jokela High School massacre would take place. Pekka took the lives of 8 people before turning the weapon on himself.
Next on our list today, we have Etika, a gaming channel run by 29-year-old Desmond Amofa, who was found dead on June 24th of 2019. He had been missing for 5 days when his body was discovered floating in the water near Manhattan's South Street seaport. Leading up to his death, the YouTuber began straying away from his regular gaming content and sharing explicit videos that fell under the adult genre, shall we say. In April of 2019, he live streamed being detained by the police, but he was not arrested. Rather, he was sent to a mental health facility, which clearly didn't help, seeing as after Etika left the hospital, he said in an interview, "I am the Antichrist. I am the one who brings death to all." On June 19th of 2019, Etika took his own life by drowning himself in the seaport.
Next on the list we have Hobestobe, aka Stoby the Hobo. This guy was an adventurer. James Stoby was a US military veteran who would post videos of him traveling to different parts of the country on train, but not legally. The whole catch here was that he was a train hopper. He first started uploading videos in February of 2012. He'd travel around, meet various people, and he'd often compose his own piano tracks for the music used in his videos. He was like a train hopper during the Great Depression, only Stoby did it for fun. He loved the thrill of adventure. He uploaded to the channel for 5 years, with his final upload on November 6th, 2017. Sadly, he had died while hopping a train. It's not 100% known how he died, but it's believed he was dragged by a train after his bag got tangled up in it. Stoby was aware of the risks though, stating in an interview with Daily Dot about how dangerous train hopping really is, like trying to get off or onto a train while moving at high speeds, especially when intoxicated.
Damn It Boy is next on the list, a channel which was abandoned after Pedro Ruiz III and his girlfriend Mona Lisa Perez were involved in an incident involving a handheld weapon. Originally, the couple shared a channel titled La Mona Lisa, but it wasn't really going anywhere, and so one day they decided to up the ante. Damn It Boy was founded, and the couple formed a plan to make sure that their new venture would go off with a bang. Pedro wanted to release a video of Mona Lisa firing a handheld weapon at his chest, which he would protect with an 1.5-inch thick encyclopedia. Pedro had been practicing by firing at other books prior to filmings in which the projectile did not go all the way through, but it appears as though his calculations weren't correct, because on June 26th of 2017, when Mona Lisa reluctantly raised her weapon and released the projectile after receiving much encouragement from Pedro, and despite not wanting to do it, the projectile went right through the book and into Pedro's chest, and he died before he could be airlifted to the hospital. Mona Lisa was charged with killing in the 2nd degree, and she spent 180 days in jail for her part in his death. It just sounds like criminal negligence to me. That's ridiculous.
Brian Joseph Rickard from Indiana ran a gaming YouTube channel called YoteSlaya. He'd mostly upload videos playing Black Ops 2 and Borderlands 2. He began uploading in 2010 and managed to rack up quite an audience. He still holds close to 1 million subscribers on his channel, but his last upload would be on October 22nd of 2013. Late at night, on October 23rd, Brian and 2 friends were driving through Vigo County, Indiana. At about 2 a.m., they drove up to a railroad crossing. The group decided that they wanted to try and outrun the oncoming train, but the driver failed and the train struck the pickup truck. The force was strong enough that Brian and one other passenger were ejected and pinned under the vehicle. All 3 passengers were found dead at the scene.
Next up, we have Messy Maya, a YouTube channel created by Anthony Barr, dedicated to making jokes, ranting, rapping, and just messing with the general public. Now, if you don't know Messy Maya but do happen to be a diehard fan of Beyonce, you might actually know Anthony's voice, which was used in the beginning of the singer's Formation music video. In November of 2010, the YouTuber had made a Facebook post in tribute to a friend who had recently passed, in which Anthony used the phrase, "I'll be there soon." And it turns out that was completely true, as just hours later Anthony was hit with a projectile fired from a handheld weapon that took his life almost instantly. His death went viral after a photo of his body was released online, which unfortunately is how many people found out about his passing. A man who confessed to killing the YouTuber spent 3 years in prison and 18 months in psychiatric care before being released after evidence revealed that he was not anywhere near the vicinity of the crime when Anthony died. It turns out that the man had confessed while having a bipolar episode after coming off of his medication, and the true killer was never caught.
Next up, we have one of the most disturbing livestream incidents in history, the Reeflay case. Stanislav Reshetnikov's case is deeply disturbing. In 2021, he was convicted for the death of his girlfriend, Valentina, and the most disturbing part, it was all captured on livestream. Reshetnikov, who streamed online as Reeflay, broadcast the horrific event live. During the stream, he physically and verbally tormented her, as his viewers paid him to do it. It all culminated in him locking her outside in the freezing cold without any clothes, and when he finally decided to bring her back inside, he discovered that she wasn't breathing. It wasn't the cold that had killed her though, she died from multiple severe blows to the head. Reshetnikov was sentenced to 6 years in a strict penal colony. 6 years, yeah. Now, a Russian penal colony, one of the last places I'd ever want to be, but still, 6 years just isn't enough time for something as harsh as this. Everyone who sent him money during that stream, by the way, they should have been jailed as well.
Next up, we have Nasim Aghdam, whose channel was abandoned abandon after the YouTuber opened fire at a YouTube company headquarters in San Bruno, California. Nasim was a vegan YouTuber and animal rights activist who often posted videos condemning animal cruelty and promoting a vegan lifestyle. In 2018, she began posting about how she believed that YouTube had been suppressing her videos because they didn't like her content. They being a single employee working for YouTube that she believed to be specifically in charge of her channel. Aghdam said that whoever had been designated to monitor her videos was discriminating against her, suppressing her content and not allowing her to make money. On April 3rd of 2018, Nasim drove to the headquarters, pulled out a handheld weapon and fired it repeatedly. 3 people were injured before she turned the weapon on herself and ended her life. It seems as though police had been warned about the possibility of Nasim participating in dangerous activity, but no effort was made to apprehend the YouTuber until it was too late.
And finally, we have the disappearance of Kenny Veach, who had a YouTube channel called snakebitmgee. So on said channel, he posted a video called Cave Hike, where he documented his hunt for a strange cave that he'd come across previously. It was located near the Nellis Air Force Base and Area 51, and apparently this cave, which was shaped like an M, had caused his body to vibrate. So he'd posted about this strange cave in a YouTube comment, and then people started, being like, well, why don't you go find it again and film it? And so that's what Kenny did. He didn't find the cave on this particular hike, but he went looking for it again about 2 months later, not on camera this time. He posted in another YouTube comment about how he was going to go on a 3-day solo hike to try and find it, talking about how ominous the cave was and that it was the only cave he'd ever been scared to go in. Strangely, another commenter warned him not to go in the cave, writing, "No, don't go back there. If you find that cave entrance, don't go in. If you do, you won't get out." Now, that could have just been, a troll or something like that, but this comment is kinda eerie in hindsight, because Kenny would go on another hike into the desert in search of the cave, and he's never been seen or heard from since. What happened? Well, most likely he died exploring a cave. Whether it was the mysterious M cave or not, who knows, but I mean, caves can be incredibly dangerous, and he was also alone, so this would be a likely explanation. But of course there are other theories related to the whole Area 51 thing. Maybe he saw something he wasn't supposed to see, maybe he was silenced. Sadly, we'll probably never know what exactly happened to Kenny Veach. Yes, YouTube, it's been around now since what, 2006? Tons of channels.
Only 2006?
I think so.
Oh my gosh.
That was 2005, 6, something like that.
Okay.
But I mean, still, tons of videos, lots of people uploading crazy stories out there. I hope, for one, that we keep uploading and don't disappear.
If we go missing, look for us, please. I've been your host, Hannah Thompson.
I've been your host, James. We'll catch you next time, I promise.
You'll see us, yeah.